Alrighty then, it's time for low elo Gragas. Yes, it's a champion that was bought for me. Mission 1. And thus, out of obligation, I had to play him. So, attack damage red, armor yellow, magic resistance blues, attack damage quints, I believe it's 0.21.9. Now, the runes are because this account has no other runes, so I have to stick with what would probably work best. Anyhow, first things first, I gotta clarify something because people were pretty pissed off in the other video. They were like, "Oh my God, Stone, you're telling everybody to be selfish pricks and disregard their teammates." Not exactly. Whoever the hell said that pretty much misinterpreted what I actually said or what I actually meant. When you want to, I wasn't trying to say you have to be dick and all that other stuff. I was saying there are things you have to do in order to carry games. You're not just playing the game. You're trying to fucking carry. Carrying is a lot different than just playing. If you're low level player, you probably won't be able to do any of that stuff properly, so it won't really apply to you. But if you're a player who's stuck because you may be skilled, but just don't seem to know how to carry games, then that shit's what applies to you. Anyways, the whole thing about it is when I was stealing farm from people, when I was getting kills myself, it's called resource allocation. Think about it this way. If you have a teammate who obviously will not be able to carry that well, or isn't seeming like they will be able to carry well, as the Rise in the game before couldn't last hit to save his life and was making some ridiculously awful positional errors, you might as well just take the resources for yourself, because if anything, you can probably trust yourself more to carry. However, this does not really help you carry if you yourself suck too. Though that is where the whole concept of an anchor comes by, and this is why dual queuing is powerful. If you were to play with a strong teammate, or know that your teammate is really good, or in some cases playing a really strong champion that can carry by rolling their face on their keyboard, then yeah, you can choose them as an anchor and just gank with them, protect them, and everything. So yeah, carrying in low elo is in some cases just understanding how to allocate your resources better, how to feed the people who will make the best out of being fed, how to make sure the person on the enemy team who should not be getting fed is not getting fed. All that stuff, that's what helps you carry. And sometimes, especially if you're a skilled player already, like in this case, a Diamond 1 player playing in lower elo divisions, as many of you will say, if you get farmed and you get fed, you will no doubtly carry. So I don't understand why people were bitching. It's kind of exactly the fucking truth. High level players win because they know they're good with whatever they're doing, and they take steps in order to make that work out. Low level players like this Wukong make ridiculous mistakes and don't understand proper trading. In this case, he escaped, yet he went back into the fray to see if he can kill the Rammus. Now, this is stupid in multiple ways. For starters, Tryndamere killed him and got it bigger. Tryndamere is a character you do not want to feed. Second, there was no guarantee he'd actually get the fucking thing, and he didn't. He died before he could finish off Rammus. Second, if he was trying to proxy, he wouldn't be wanting to get kills at all. So he's essentially just feeding the Tryndamere. That is low lack of knowledge. Like, the lower level players are easy to take advantage of. You just constantly have to abuse of this, and that's how you tend to win. Anyways, I haven't been talking about the game at all, but most of it is just the basic fanfare of crap. But I should talk about how Gragas is strong as a jungler, or where he excels. I've explained it before. Jungle Gragas is kind of basic all around. He used to be one of the most powerful junglers in the game, but now he's pretty basic in terms of everything. His clearing speed is average. His sustain is actually really good. I mean, after he gets 2 ranks on his W, because then his mana becomes sustainable and all that stuff. He's got mana issues, but thank God for his W. That thing keeps him up. His clearing speed is average. Sustain is good after a little while. It's a very short while, so you can say it's good. His ganking is really strong with his E, however, it's very risky. He's actually pretty easy to kill early on. His item builds are all over the place. and they are really strong. Some of them are really strong mid game, but they don't do anything for him late game. So his building is a little odd, so to speak. Primarily, you end up going AP because that's probably the best thing you can build on him, and that's what I am actually building. I'm building him AP, slightly utility AP. However, then I start getting enough gold. And I built him pretty much pure AP from then on with a death cap. You'll see that later. Anyways, more things on Gragas as to why he could be a good jungler. Aside from his average, from average speed and strong ganking, is his uniqueness. He's two things going on for him. He's ridiculously mobile with his E. Of course, he can go through walls. He can constantly spam it and does healing himself. And it's very relatively low cooldown. It's like he's just so fast, so strong and fast. So he covers a lot of distance and can go from top of the map to the bottom of the map in almost no time. In fact, I bought boots right now, but that's mostly only because they have Ashe, Tryndamere, and Aramis. If they didn't have that combination of champions, I would have not gone with boots. I would have just stayed with the mobility of my body slam. However, of course, like they're good at kiting, or they're champions you have to stay the fuck away from. So you need to be a little bit faster. Then the other uniqueness is he's a champion with a true initiation. He's an AP jungler with true initiation. And by AP jungler, I mean pure AP jungler. Like, Malphite has magic damage for sure. He has magic damage for sure, but he's not exactly a AP jungler. He's a magic damage tank, and he got true initiation. Gragas can be built pure AP with no issues at all towards anything he does, and primarily that's what he should be built as, and he actually has true initiation. It's really hard to use in some cases, but it's still true initiation. Save from a distance, disperses the enemy team, and can create situations that are advantageous to your team. So, in this team comp, Gragas actually fit well, mostly because we have a Wukong and Gragas. Gragas initiation followed up by Wukong spinning crap, and then Janna's ultimate, just in case shit goes wrong, is really good. We're really strong at kiting people. Though Wukong, aside from his ultimate, it feels a little bit misplaced. I know I'm not rambling much about the game, but it's pretty much observable here. I'm ranting on what Gragas is good at. I would actually consider him as a low-level jungler. Low elo jungler. But if you want to play him in lower elos, be prepared to get so much fucking hate. Like, I was trying to pick him in the last game, and then I got cussed out by my team, and somebody dodged. They were that mad. They were calling me a troll, even though I was telling them, I'm being serious. I am not trolling. Please give me the benefit of the doubt. Nope. They were mad. They had sand in their vaginas. They were pissy little kids. So I couldn't really pick Gragas that game because they dodged. And the next game, I just ended up picking what's facing Volibear. And that said, Jungle Gragas, why would he work? Well, for starters, he's sustained. He's ridiculously mobile, thus being hard to kill. He has poke. A lot of poke, which is something I've noticed low elo players cannot deal with. He's one of the very few junglers that has poke, and a very strong poke at that. He can also execute somebody in some circumstances with his ultimate and his Q. So if shit goes your way, you could probably insta-give an MVP or create a situation that even bad players can, or inexperienced players per se, can take advantage of. Though of course, he is still not someone who can outright carry completely. He can't go into a fight and just destroy everybody, so it's one of those smarter carry junglers. So I wouldn't call him a prime champion to pick for carrying lower levels. But he really is someone who creates enough situations or has a kit that's suitable enough for carrying, or at least making it easier for your team. And plus, he's fucking fun as hell. You're playing a giant fat ass man who's actually mobile, which is ironic towards his towards his design, and has a lot of damage and can be built either aura support, full on AP, or some sort of utility AP with Rylai's and stuff like that. Now, as you can see, I have a death cap now because I got pretty fucking fed. Fed and farmed as a jungler. That's good. Farmed at least to the range that I am at. Also, cooldown reduction is probably the most important thing on jungle Gragas. Spamming your abilities, especially your ultimate, is what will give you the most of your power. And for whatever reason, in this case, my team decided to engage under the tower. And by my team, I mean Wukong. And he promptly died. So yeah, bad teammates can still cause bad situations for you. Luckily, there's one thing Gragas can do, is he's really strong at disengaging fights too. In this case, my R8 teammate gets caught and they're all chasing her. Throw my ultimate and disperse them. Ashe and Tryndamere are gone from her. I kill Tryndamere as he tries to run away, and I easily just pick up the Ashe. That's all, and then I get killed by Diana. That's also one of the cool, unique things that Gragas has. He's one of the even fewer junglers that has a full-on team fight disengage. There are very few junglers that have such a disengage at such a safe range. Like I said, Gragas, his ultimate is ranged disengage. You don't have to be near the enemy or your teammate to probably save their lives from a terrible engage. That ultimate, if you can master, will make jungle Gragas completely viable. I mean, lane Gragas pretty much does the same thing, I know. But you may not get a chance to be mid. You may not get a chance to be mid because no one lets you, or you may somehow be able to justify jungle Gragas' existence in that game. In this case, I first picked jungle Gragas. Nobody gave me a shit. I was surprised. But surprisingly enough, the enemy team picked into a team comp that jungle Gragas is actually strong against. I can disengage Rammus and keep him away from my AD carry and pretty much ruin his fucking day. My Q can sever Tryndamere and Diana's damage when they jump on somebody. If you didn't know, his Q reduces people's attack speed. As I believe if it still does. Either way, it kind of was showing to be evident when I was trying to duel Tryndamere and Diana a couple times. Plus, he's ridiculously good at sticking to targets, and all of their characters, aside from Ashe, are melee. I'll be able to stick to them like nothing, and constantly, force them into the situations they don't want to be in. Because my Q will deter them. Either they take a full-on blast from my Q, or they walk into the most obvious path, which I could body slam them. Still, Jungle Gragas excels greatly against melee team comps. He can kite them, he can deal damage and reduce their own damage, and his ultimate can just disengage them and destroy their team positioning altogether because they're all fucking clumped up. So, like I said, surprisingly enough, they picked a team comp which my first pick, Jungle Gragas, was very strong against. I can't say, oh yeah, this is an invisible Baron, it's just low replay bug. And it's not to say that, oh, they're stupid and they picked it to Jungle Gragas. Jungle Gragas is one of the rarest things you'll probably ever see. One of the rarest things you'll ever see. So you can't really blame them. I'm just surprised it kind of, worked out. Alright, yeah, so Moralonomicon is actually one of his best items in the jungle. It gives you cooldown reduction, it gives you the unique Grievous Wounds ability, and it's just a nice, inexpensive item all around. It's really good. I would definitely buy it. And in this case, it helps against Tryndamere. Tryndamere and Ashe, I guess. Ashe has a Bloodthirster. A Guardian Angel 2, which in my opinion wasn't that great of a purchase. I mean, I know we can outright destroy her, but her front line just gets fucked over and over. She needs to just rend somebody to death with her arrows before she gets taken out. Either way, in that case, we wipe out their entire team, and thus we are able to claim victory. This wasn't the easiest of games, but me and my friend carried thanks to our insane maneuverability and mobility, and won for a game for Gragas. Yay!